Good morning. I'd like to continue this tour with the backstory of my first published book. Well, my first published book under my name. And it is a book called The Mediterranean Runs Through Brooklyn. It was published in 1980-81, and the back cover this is what I looked like at that time. The Ravages of Time. The physical book, I'll get to in a minute. It was a beautiful design, a prize-winning design, but the backstory involves is how it came to be published. At that time, I was working in a typography studio. And it was the time when CompuType was just beginning. So books were going from being published hot type, that is every letter, every word set by hand, to computer type. And some of my friends opened a typography studio. They were professionals, and they needed a professional editor and proofreader as part of their team. And they offered me what was called the lobster shift, which was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. So it was a strange time to begin a job and have my own office. And of course, during the night, it was very quiet. And it was quite wonderful experience. And I proofread and edited all that they were typing, and that included advertisements, pamphlets. No books at that time did they have. Anyway, and then one night I was at the Xerox machine, and there was a printer up there, Richard, and I printed a story of mine. I was making a facsimile of it, and he looked at it and he says, I really like this. He said, I have a small book operation that I run in addition to my print company. Would you be interested in doing a little book for us? So I said, sure. And that's how this book came to be published. And his name was Richard Prydel, and I really loved Richard. I wish him well wherever he is today. And he set me up in his print shop, which was on Canal Street and 7th Avenue South, Canal Street, right on the corner there, big building. And I was so happy walking into his print shop because you can smell the type and print and all that he used. And he set me up on his floor in a corner on a table to put this out. 1980. Then later on, the book came out in Italian, and this is what it looks like in Italian. A beautiful cover of the Brooklyn Bridge, and with a wonderful essay on it by the late Robert Viscusi. He's a very important Italian-American critic and author. Viscusi, V-I-S-C-U-S-I. Very, very important man, very important critic. So that's the story, the backstory of how how the Mediterranean came to be published. At that time, I met some book designers, and one of whom designed this book. His name was Sanford Hoffman, Sandy, and he recently passed away. This is his obituary somewhere. And he designed the logo, my logo, AV. That's what it looked like. And also, he designed the fonts and the typography inside, which I'd like to show you. How beautiful. I don't even know the name of the fonts. They're really like, there's an open font, and That's the essay that begins. It's called My Mother. Now, as far as talking about the content of this book, it is, I would call, a hybrid. That the first half are family portraits. My mother, my father, my aunts, my uncles, my girlfriend. And the second half are fiction stories. They're stories. So, and this title of some of the, so it's divided into the family and the world. Now, the family is my mother, my father, my sister, my aunts, my uncles. The world is my girlfriend, the great lover, which was the beginning of the Valentino series, Incident at the Riviera, The Stroke, Lament of the Cheap Pentel Pencil, Valentino's mother, two Italians, the Italian American, and the Gringo. Those are the names of the stories in this book. Now, so when the book came out, and in fact the reviews, I in my career, I think I got the best reviews from that book. Some of the agents and professionals said, "Look, Anthony, you cannot publish that kind of book." Now it's 1980 because it doesn't make any sense. It's half of a memoir and half of a fiction stories. I said, well, that's how I see it proceeding. I see life proceeding from the family, if you're fortunate enough to have the security of a family in your first years, and then move out into the world, the street, friends, and so forth, those experiences. And so I thought that was the way I would like to begin. So that's pretty much the backstory of The Mediterranean Runs Through Brooklyn. And then I was very pleased when it continued to have life with the published book in Italy, and it's still available in different editions, Amazon and different outlets, in electronic edition, paperback edition. The hardcover it might be available somewhere, I don't know. So anyway, that's the story of The Mediterranean Runs Through Brooklyn. I will read from it next time. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday.